Hello, it's Friday 1st of November. I'm at Vida and I'm on my own. Jane's not well this week, so we decided not to put the mizzen mast up today and I'd just come and finish the small bits of jobs on it. So let's show you where I'm at. I've got 6 of the chain plate loops. The other 2 are not quite finished and they will be for the runners, so we can put them in at the last minute. These can all go in the containers, which have worked and collected some water while we've been away. So that's one job I'm going to do. The other jobs are, I've got the, from Accu, I've got the split pins there to put on the spreaders to stop the ends falling off. And I've got some better, thicker washers for the tang bolts and some metal lock. Well, I think of it as Loctite, but this is the brand that they had. I'm going to take the bolts out and even up the washers, put thread lock on, and then I'm going to use the punches I've got here to just knock the threads at the very end, so that we've got the combination of a little bit worn nylock, because it's been on a couple of times, the thread lock and the damaged threads. Hopefully that will ensure that the bolts don't come off. I'll try and set the camera up because somebody wanted to see what we're doing. Okay, got my 2 19mm spanners. Let's set them both to undo. Let's do them that way. That had a total of 2, 4, 7 washers, which wasn't quite enough. Now let's see if I can get that out. Just getting the punch. Nearly got the punch stuck, that wasn't ideal. Okay, let's see. That'll knock it a little bit further. That's coming now. Okay, right, so that was 7 of those washers. These ones should be a little bit thicker, so if I not very different. If I put 8 washers on, I think that's going to be enough. So if I put 4 each side, actually I'll put 5 on the bolt head side because the bolt sticks out less distance for 5. Okay. Ooh. I'm not sure they recommend doing that with your microphone. Oh heck. I didn't check that I haven't lost the compression thing. I wonder if I can just take this out part way and just have a look and see. Poodles. Can't look in the end of the mast anymore. I think that feels like it's still there on there. Assume that it was glued in enough to be there. Right, so it could be 4 on here. That's what I had before. I'm going to try one more. Right, thread lock. This is the only one they had. It is the sort which you're supposed to be able to take off later. Right, I need to go and get some scissors, Stanley knife, and cut that end off. Back in a minute. I'm back with an opened thread lock. Tending to be a bit more generous than probably I should be. I read the instructions, but There's reading instructions and there's following them. They're not necessarily the same thing. Right, that's better. And then I'm just going to take the smaller punch and damage the thread. Let's go around that side. So that should make it harder for the nut to come undone. Yeah, that's not going to vibrate loose now. Yeah, very confident that's going to hold. Very nice, I like it a lot. So, actually, I refuse to say so. I'm not going to say so. Let's do these ones next. I'm going to learn my lesson with this one, and I will make sure I poke something through when I push the bolt out. So I'm confident that I'm not going to lose the compression piece. This one wasn't really tightening quite up, not quite enough washers, so I will just add the 2 extra washers to this one. Okay, that's not going anywhere. Let's have a look. So yes, we know that the bolt's longer than it should be. I've mashed over the head there, that's not coming off. Sikaflex has really nicely evened it out so that they're really bedded on with a nice even pad to trap it. That's really, really good. We've got our 2 halyard lines both running smoothly. What remains to do? Nothing on the mast except when we come and put it up, we just got to put the shrouds actually on with a lashing to hold them in place. I've got the split pins here, or I'm just going to go and get some clips and just cut those down, and then we can just put some tape on them and they won't snag anything. That means when we come back to actually put the mast on, weather permitting, next Friday. We've got the shrouds just to hook on and tie so they can't fall off, and tie them to the ends of the spreaders. That's all that needs doing on the mast now. I'm just going to go and put the chain plate loops in position, tied up, so that again, nothing to do with them when we come back next time. See you in a moment. In the last video, Jane showed you putting the lids on. Well, after the lids are on, I've now put the chain plate loops in. So that's 6 chain plate loops that are in place properly. Let's show you what they look like from the outside. It took at least 10 minutes, 7 minutes of which was emptying the cockpit locker so I could get in. One for the forestay on the starboard side, lower shroud, cap shroud, and as I said earlier, the ones for the running back stays, we've still got one chase sleeve to fit, but they don't have the cups underneath, so they're very quick to fit. One side benefit is that the cups mean that they don't drop down, so they're there ready for the low friction rings to go in and then tension up the shrouds. Same on the port side, 1, 2, hidden next to the solar panel, 3 done. What's brilliant, well, I love lots of things about these, the fact that we can make them ourselves, the fact that they're made from the same material as the shrouds. So we bought a reel of 100 meters and it was enough to do the chain plate loops as well as all the shrouds all in one go. But the other thing that's really nice is inspecting or replacing these is just a couple of minutes job. It will mean clearing the cockpit locker for one of them, but all you do is take a halyard to take the tension off that shroud, release the lashing, undo the plastic cup underneath and drop it through, and you can replace it or check it. So that's fantastic. I will also say, after a comment that was left and then deleted on our last video, it's now going to be a rule that we show our rainbow bag in every video. We are 100% supportive of all our LGBTQIA plus family and friends. Come against them and you're coming against us. And that made me think that a really good idea would be, we've been discussing for a long time whether we can polish up the hull or whether we need to paint. We were watching Seabird. They've done an amazing job on their paint, but it was a lot of work. Maybe though, we could get some friends together and we could paint the whole hull as a trans and intersex inclusive progressive flag. You know, the one with the arrows coming into the rainbow and a little circle as well. I think right along the side of each hull, that would mean we would be definitely seen, and nobody would be any doubt when watching our channel what our views are on gender and sexuality. So if you'd like to volunteer to paint a boat, because I can't work out how you transfer a flat flag onto a 3D hull. Painting, not my an artistic thing, is not my strong suit. I'm just going to do a couple more jobs. I've got some compost out of the composting loos that is going into the fore cabin, where we're going to be heating it and drying it so that it's fully safe more quickly than a year. While I'm clearing the fore cabin to put that away, I want to find the thin rubber sheeting to make the foot for that. Go and move some stuff, make access in the fore cabin because it's filled with timber and things at the moment. See you in a bit. I thought I'd better just show you what I mean when I say it's full. I've got a stack of bigger timber here. That sheet is going to be used to cut out the knees for that side when we fit them. Obviously waiting for the weather to get worse before we limit ourselves to inside jobs. That loo isn't there at the minute, it's in the cockpit locker, and the compost area is underneath that heater there. and somewhere in here should also be that rubber. Every time we clean up the fore cabin, we then, it seems very quickly afterwards, refill it with lots of stuff. Hopefully another few months and we will be able to cut down on the bigger timber anyway, because we'll have roughed it out, cut it roughly to shape and size, and then we can store smaller amounts. Okay, let's see how I can do this. Right, let's see what I can move. I've got the bag of sandpaper and the track saw on the floor. See lots of people saying, oh yeah, I need to buy the £1,500 fancy Festool track saw. For our quality work, the Evolution one at £200 something is perfectly adequate. So you don't get a plunge feature, but I think it's well worth learning to manage without that to save that huge amount of money. After all, it's only going to go rusty when it's on a boat. Right. That's miscellaneous carbon fibre tubes for the various solar projects. Various times we keep this under a tarp on deck or in the wheelhouse, but with the fly problem and winter, if we can that's our big poop bucket, and by our calculations we're going to be able to store enough in there to heat it gently, and I can't remember, there's a whole load of different time scales according to different temperatures, so we're going to eventually, when we're living aboard, got a bit more time to play, my plan is to sort out a little Raspberry Pi, possibly the little Pico with a temperature sensor, to measure what temperature we get the compost to over time, and then we can have a little record to show that what we've got at any one time has been heated to be safe to the FDA standards, and we'll just fill it, heat it, and then it's absolutely food safe compost that we can dispose of anywhere. If nobody wants compost, we can put some safe compost in the sea. It'll just sink and become soil at the bottom of the sea, or we can put it in the trash, but that seems very wasteful. We'd rather find somebody who could use some compost on their garden, and that way we're net positive contribution to local people. I'm just going to go and put those bags, and we're needing to empty the compost out of the toilet while we're here twice a month for 2 days. It's several months between needing to empty it, so there's no rush to sort out that heating, at least for the minute. Okay, and that means that one locker forward there, this one, which is just forward of where the chain's going down there, is plenty large enough to store the stuff that's composting, and plenty of coconut coir for refilling things. That box there has got, at the rate we're using it at the moment, about 2 years supply in it, so you really don't need very much of it. It lasts a very long time. Okay, I'm not going to show you our poop, so let me go and sort that out.